So hi everyone, good evening. I welcome you all to a new session as a part of YLCC's Legal Career-A-Thon series. My name is Niharika Khadge and I'll be your host for the evening. I appreciate you all being here, especially on a Saturday evening. Today we have with us Mr. Anuj Kumar sir. Anuj sir is the founder of Legal Desire Media and Fashion Law Journal. He has an experience of working with over 50 plus global law firms in various practices for comprehensive business development solutions. Additionally, he is also associated with Niti Aayog as a mentor for Atal Innovation Mission and is a member of editorial board of international and national journals. Today, he is here with us to guide us on career as a fashion lawyer. Welcome, Anuj sir. Thank you so much for joining in. Also, if time permits, we shall have the audience's questions as well at the end of the session. So I request all the audience members to pin down all their questions if they have in the chat box.
Thank you so much for the invite. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interact with the young budding lawyers. I hope we can cover almost all the questions that you have given me, and we can take some quick questions also after the session. Yeah.
Right. So, sir, beginning directly delving into the session, what exactly do fashion lawyers do and what are the day-to-day responsibilities like? And what are the legal challenges commonly faced by fashion lawyers, along with the main subjects one should be going through before choosing to pursue a career in fashion law?
Okay, so it's a big question. So it's in between parts. So we'll take the first part for now. So what exactly does a fashion lawyer do? Like, who are fashion lawyers? And when we are talking about fashion lawyer, we have to talk about like what is actually all about fashion law. So there are some misconceptions about fashion law. There are so many myths about fashion law, so that it is only about the IP, it is only about the celebrities, or it talks only about the business of fashion. So fashion law is a broad term. So we have to see like every law comes with for some certain stakeholders. Like when we are talking about the bills that are related to the women protection, the rights. So we are talking about the rights of the women. Similarly, when we are talking about the fashion law, it means like we are talking about the people in fashion industry, like stakeholders of the fashion industry. And we have to talk about the rights and duties. What are the legal issues in the fashion industry? Again, fashion industry is a big industry. So you can imagine like it's the second most industry which gives employment in India. Like after agriculture, so it is the second industry. Like about 25% of employment is directly coming from the fashion and apparel industry, which includes the textile industry. And then we have automobile, telecom sector, and other infrastructure sector. So it means a big industry will also have a big legal issues also there. There are so many stakeholders, be it fashion photographers, fashion models. Now we are also in the age of the influencers. So we have to also deal about these the challenges about the endorsement. We have now Consumer Protection Act is also there. We have to talk about the supply chain issues. So what exactly do fashion lawyers do? Like they serve the fashion industry. They serve the legal issues in this industry. So it is a broad work. So when we talk about the broad work, it means like we have to also work with the fashion startups to start their fashion brand from scratch. Also, if someone is already running their fashion businesses, so we have to also see about the supply chain issues. So 90% of the cases in this industry, like if we compare about the composition of the cases between the different practice areas, so it comes from the supply chain. So there can be contractual issues. Maybe supply chain agreement is there. Maybe there is a raw material procurement is there. So there is a delay in delivery of the raw material, which then again we have other types of agreement like employment agreement are there. And we have seen the age of the COVID time. So that time we have also witnessed the real estate leasing issues are there. So these are the work area. Then we have IP also there for protection of the brand. But majorly we have contracts in fashion industry. So the day-to-day work responsibility will be firstly to help your client. So when we're talking about the fashion law, so now I'm talking about only the fashion startup and businesses. So for fashion startup and businesses, we have to help them by finding the related laws. For example, if I am running a brand in India and I have to excel my brand into US, so I have to know about the laws of there. Maybe there is a MOU between the India and US, so there can be free trade agreement, or there can be some compensation, or there can be some relaxation in taxation. So I have to assess my client. There can be some welfare schemes for Indian startup owner, like from maybe MSME. So being a fashion lawyer, like my also work profile will be to avail those schemes for my client. Then I have to draft a lot of agreement when my client is going to purchase raw material. then there will be sales purchase agreement. Then when my client will go for a manufacturer, so he or she may have a raw material, but he or she doesn't have a manufacturing unit. So he will find a manufacturer. So then again, we will have a manufacturing agreement. So there is a series of contracts and agreements. So this whole industry is running on the contract. So we have to draft a lot of contracts and agreement in this industry. So contracts will be there, drafting business plans, drafting IP plan, franchising plan. So these will be the major thing. And then we have IP registration, trademark registration, design patents. So these will be there. Now another part will be what are the legal commonly faced challenges. I think I already covered. Yeah.
Right. So, sir, how has the legal landscape of the fashion industry evolved over the years, and what are the possible opportunities in this field at present? And with the like you mentioned about the influential culture growing, has there been any sort of new trend growing in relation to the work for fashion lawyers post pandemic?
So fashion industry is such type of industry which is always changing. We are adapting new things. For example, something that is new in India might be outdated in other countries, in the European countries, right? Or might be there can be opposite direction. Like we can go like even the European countries now they have started accepting our culture also. Like maybe saris, they started also wearing saris. So there can be spike in the sales of saris over there, right? So this is ever changing. Then again, now we are also in the age of metaverse, artificial intelligence. So NFTs are coming up. So even brands like Nike, so they have come up with their NFT metaverse also there. So this industry is also then again changing. So there has been cases like metaverking is there. So we can see there are lots of new avenues in this field also, like use of artificial intelligence, use of robotics. Like for example, Amazon is using robots for fulfillment centers. Like so for shipping also now even drones are coming. Again, there are now softwares who are designing the design patterns by the software. So there are issues like who will own those design and all. So these questions will need to answer, and then again we need some fashion lawyers also and some judicial officer having a proper knowledge about this field. So this is ever changing again, and yes, we have seen like the last time the difficult time. So again there are issues that we witnessed the first time, the COVID time. Then again we came to realize about the importance of force majeure clauses is there, and then yes, when we talk about the influencer culture, so India has done a good thing, like when they amended the Consumer Protection Act. So now even the influencers are can be held liable for endorsing maybe a misleading advertisement, or maybe for example they are endorsing any sunscreen which ultimately give a poor effect on to like maybe a skin damage to a consumer. So like they can directly again make the influencer liable. So now there is a responsibility on influencer also. So when they are endorsing any product, so they have to again go by the clauses of this agreement about the Consumer Protection Act. So that's why we need to have fashion lawyers who can draft such endorsement agreement. Those we have social media agencies are there. So these are managing celebrities account. So again, there are lots of work and there are lots of avenues. So yes, so it will be ever changing because now we are also witnessing the metaverse. So the brands are going to the metaverse also. So we have then again trademark protection over there. So India doesn't have our Indian courts haven't defined it yet, but in US, so USPTA also come with the definition that if we have a trademark protections in the real world, so it will also have in the metaverse also. So then again, there are so many cases, so it is again changing. So yes, there are lots of dimension in this area also.
Right. So, did you have your specialization in fashion law from your law school, or did you acquire it later? So, could you please describe what appealed to you the most regarding this domain?
So when we started fashion law in India, so we were the first. So like we started 5 years back, we started fashion law in India firstly. And then like 3 years back, we come up with the fashion law journals after our proper research. So being a fashion lawyer, so like there are again, so many courses are also there right now. So there are even proper, we have degrees, like we have masters in fashion law also. They are from Fordham University, from Milano Institute of Fashion also. So like in my case, I started reading about the fashion industry because I told you because it's a big industry. So that fascinates me, that there is a big industry and we have to cater for the legal issues in this industry, not only about the celebrities and influencers, but also about the stakeholders, like the working conditions also of the workforces. So About acquiring a skill, so like we acquired the skills, we studied about the challenges in this supply chain, like how a raw material becomes a final product. So then we understand like what types of contracts are being used. So we interviewed people in the fashion industry. Then we came to know about the practical problems in this field, about the IP, also about the supply chain. There were the common things like they are not able to they were not using any contracts, even the big designers, so they are not protecting their IP. So these were the common issues. So we acquired those skills later. And then we when we have some sort of knowledge about this industry, then we started interacting with the person in this field about like general counsel, in-house counsels. We interacted with the lawyers who are practicing in this field. And then like we also did some boot camps also, like from Fordham University. So did some multiple courses. So this is how like we started our journey about acquiring those skills. So even for the new students, like those who will be attending this session, so there are very less courses available, and those are expensive also. So I always suggest students, like you have to firstly understand about the legal issues in this industry. Now you know that there is a lot of work of contracts. There's also a lot of work about the supply chain issues. So you have to learn about those issues. You have to be very good with the drafting of the contracts. And then, so what you can do in case you are not getting any internship or any courses, especially in the field of fashion law. So you can acquire your skills from the different internship. Like once you can go on for internship from a corporate law firm who is giving you work of contract drafting. Then again, you can do another internship at IP firm. Then again, you can do an internship with a fashion business to understand about the supply chain. So this is how you will acquire your skills and be ready for this industry. So this is what we did in my case.
Right. So while answering, you also answered the next question, which was properly dealing with what courses and diplomas they should be pursuing or looking forward for. So, sir, can you suggest any platforms while trying to upskill themselves?
So like for fashion law courses, so like like if you are willing to go for a full-time program, so then again we have Fordham University Masters in Fashion Law. Then there are a 6-month program from Milan Institute of Fashion also. We also have our program, like we have certificate program and diploma program by Fashion Law Journal. So like the lectures are also being delivered by the faculty from Fordham, from New York Law Institute. So we have practical person in these courses. So in case anyone want to explore this field, so you can visit the website Fashion Law Journal or the Fordham fashionlawinstitute.com. So these are the common like institutes, so like which can give you practical courses. So there may be multiple courses, website is there, but you have to be then again be cautious about those modules. So might be they are only delivering the courses in IP with the name of fashion law tag, or might be they are only covering the contracts. But being a fashion law student, if you want to make career in law, so you have to understand that it is not only about the contracts, it is not only about the IP. You have to understand about various field. You have to study about the supply chain management in fashion. So there may be issues in maybe supply chain, maybe IP, contracts, taxations, international trade. So this is what all you have to do.
So we could move on to the next question. Since the fashion industry consists of designing, manufacturing, and dealing in new and unique designs with clothes or accessories or jewelry, do you think the IPR related issues extend to the fashion law as well? And why is it important for the companies, particularly in the fashion industry, to protect their product through trademark registration?
Yes, so yes, IP is very important for all the creators, not only the fashion industry. So yes, when you are coming up with some design, so you should protect your design, because these designs will be commercialized later on. That's why you are coming up with your product, right? So if you are a designer, so then again your first task, your first checklist should be to protect your design. So not only about the trademark, so even all the IP sectors applicable to it, like trademark is also there, trademark, and then again we have copyright, then we have design. So there are again a confusion between whether your design is protected under copyright or design. So we have to understand about the confusion also. So if you are coming up with a limited quantity product, so below 50, so you can go for a copyright protection. But if you want to go for a mass production, so then you have to protect your design under the Design Act, right? So if you are a group of community, or maybe a group of people from any particular state, so you can also go for a geographical indicator protection, right? So like Pashmina, like chicken curry from the Lucknow. So these are the protection available. We have also patents also applicable in this industry. Like we have design patents. So if you have your clothes or maybe something, like if you're coming up with the cloth and they have some utility function attached to their design, then you can also go for a design patent. For example, we have breathable shoes, stepless bras. So these were the products who were given also the design patent protection. So all the IPs are applicable. Then we have to see about the like you. It will then again differ from a product line. So if you are coming up with the maybe cosmetics, so might be possible a trademark is applicable for lipstick, cosmetics, right? If you're coming up with the packaging, some new innovation, then again trademark is applicable. So IP is applicable. Why this is important? Because once if you are a designer, then again you have to do licensing for producing, for like maybe connecting with the manufacturer. So for example, you are only a fashion designer, you don't have a setup unit, so you will prepare your design, then you will find a manufacturer, right? So you will go to this manufacturer, or maybe you will have a meeting with your office. So it might be possible they can steal your design, they can take a photograph of your design, and they can come up with a mass production of your design, right? So but when you have your design production ready, so you will do a proper contract. Again, you can mention the clauses like you are giving them authority to produce only 1,000 pair of shoes, right? So they can't produce like even one pair of shoes extra. So it will then again save you from the IP infringement. Also, when we have fashion shows, fashion weeks, then again the designers are there. So there are again the other business investors are also there. So IP is your asset again. So you will have to sell your
You will
IP.
have to sell your IP.
So
So,
in case,
in case
yeah. So in case of IP,
IP,
I think there is
I
some
think
voice
there is
issue.
some water issue.
Right. So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay. So in IP also, like I give you an example, H&M and Sabyasachi, they recently done their IP
Their
licensing,
IP
right?
license.
So because of the IP protection is there, because of the prevalence of the IP protection is there, so they have done the licensing agreement, right? So when you see a product coming from a Puma and Ferrari, because they have done a IP licensing, that's why those logos are there. When you see Marvel T-shirt from the sold store or maybe another company, because of the IP licensing. So this is why this IP is also very important in terms of the protection also, and also for the monetization purposes. So for example, if you wish to expand your brand and you don't have enough resources or capital, so you can come up with a franchisee plan. So you see so many Zara stores over there. So they are with the same furniture, same type of the clothes, and same type of color schemes is there because of the franchising agreement. And then they have the clauses of IP. So you can control all these things from that single franchisee agreement. So this is how very important to have protection. So even your workforce is like whenever you are hiring someone, you should include the IP clauses in their employment agreement that they are not allowed to take photographs. So even an office boy, they can come, they can take a photograph of a design and they can sell it to the other your competitors. So this is why like this is very common. Like you see leaked images of Apple iPhone coming up ranks, right? So this is why these IP clauses are very important in employment agreement also. Yeah.
Right. Right. So, since you are the founder and editor-in-chief of the Fashion Law Journal, Legal Desire, and International Medico-Legal Report Journal, and the editorial board member of the International Journal of Environmental Protection and Policy, Science Publishing Group, what was the thought and the motivational factors behind starting these successful platforms? And do the platforms offer internships or other related opportunities to the law students?
So when we started Legal Desire, so Legal Desire, its name suggests that we are coming up with something new. So we are only exploring the unexplored areas. So we started with the Legal Desire. So we ventured into the legal marketing. So we were the first when we started the legal marketing 7 years back. So that time there were no some business development positions is there in India. So then we started with the work in the medical legal sector, the forensic sector, and yes, fashion law. So the motivation behind is that like, to explore the unexplored areas for law. So we already have like criminal matters, we already have civil matters, like we have these areas, like we have to think about the beyond the litigation and judiciary. So exploring the other markets so that we have because we have seen the mushrooming of the law schools, right? But we don't have these such type of job opportunities in our sector, so we have to create it. So like we did our initiative, we did our contribution by exploring these areas. We can aware students that there is a sector called fashion law, so you can create your career in it, right? So in case you don't you are not able to find any law firms which is practicing into the field of fashion law, so you can become an independent fashion lawyer or become a fashion business consultant, and you can help the fashion industry. You can help the fashion influencer for drafting their contracts and agreement. So this is what we do at Legal Desire. And then the platforms, yeah, we also do offer internship. We have different departments. We have fashion law journal, we have department of forensic, and we have legal marketing business development department. So we offer regular internship. We also have student editors positions which go for a 1 year. So student learns about those things. We have regular the courses at Fashion Law Journal. So our student team and the interns are they also get access to those lectures also.
Right. Thank you so much for updating us about the opportunities. So, sir, what is the importance of publications according to you for law students, and how can these publications help in boosting the growth of law students?
For me, always publications is the topmost priority. Like when we hire someone, or like we look for someone for even for the interns or for the full-time employee. Why publications are important? Because it provides you, like it pictures you like you have a particular like domain authority of a particular subject. For example, you are coming up with you want to go for an interview for an IP law firm, right? And you have done some publications in IP, maybe trademark or copyright. So it means you have devoted at least 2 to 3 months in that research paper, if you're getting it published in a Scopus Index journal or maybe a peer-reviewed journal. So I don't have any questions left, right, to judge your competency about that particular subject area, because you have come up with a paper publication. That's why it was published, right? At least you have devoted time, and I can just verify the fact by just asking 1 or 2 questions. And if you have prepared a research paper, it means you are thorough with the those topics. So very important to have publications. Like we have other things, like we have internship. So like if I give priority, then it will be the first will be the publication, and then we will have practical internship, and then other thing. So because we have seen like there are moot courts also, there are debates also, but if you compare those things to the real world, so this is not how it works, right, in the real life. But when you talk about the publications, so this is how your publications are helping also the other companies, other industries also. Even laws are based on the research papers of some think tanks, right? So when we talk about the COVID time, so these were the research paper only. So that led to the invention of those vaccines, right? So very important to have publications. So if you are coming up with if your resume has a good number of publications, but with a credible journals, not with some only the websites or maybe a blog, right? So the blogs like that can help you to write, to improve your writing skills, but it should be then again peer reviewed website. So if they are publishing your articles, so it should not have plagiarism or something, right? So come up with a good number of publications with some good resources and citations. Always use the government reports as your primary source of the information, then your books and journals. So try to use those platforms. So like there are platforms like JSTR, Progress Centrals, so where you can find read the research paper. So your primary source of information should be the journal, these research paper also. So yes, this is how like it helps and boosts the growth of your law student.
Right. So if we were to ask you, then research, you would give more preference to research papers, because that too, which are public, or like with authentic sources, and not because there are many paid journals wherein anyone can just go and publish in. So we have to also look at the source at which we are publishing.
Correct.
So now we can come on to the audience's questions. If anyone is interested, they can even unmute themselves, or I can read it out for everyone. Rather read out the questions for you, sir.
Sure.
Do you, as a fashion lawyer, also work towards the issues relating to the role of fashion industry, as in clothing fabrics, and their impact on the environment?
Yes, we do, because then again, for example, like we are working with some the European fashion houses. So they have a certain fashion like sustainable guidelines from these countries. So like they have to abide by those terms. So even if they are putting something on their labels that they are sustainable, right? So they have to adhere about those legal terms. So we have to then again we have to again do the compliance of those things. In India also, like when we are coming up with something, so like then again there are compliances, right, in India also. So, but the difference between India and the other countries is that like majorly our compliances, like if we relate to this only the fashion manufacturing sector or the textile sector or maybe a small fashion business house. So those things are like very easy to procure because they are with your local level municipal commissioner. So we have a municipal commissioner and we have a district magistrate, right? So your trade license can be procured from these commissioners and magistrate, right? So it is very easy to procure those things, and you have a very small list of those checklists that you have to abide by those things. Like for example, if you are running a fashion manufacturing unit, maybe it can be small, so your building has to be like again at par with the public works department guidelines, so it is not prone to the earthquake. Then again fire department NOCs. So these are the licenses that will be required. Then when we go for the sustainable fashion, so if you are like if you have fabric in your like your unit, if you are disposing of, then again some materials, so like how you will dispose of your materials, so like which type of chemicals you are using, whether it is harmful for the like if you are for example, if you are then again putting those wastes into rivers or maybe forest or somewhere, so you have to like you have to mention it all there. Now we have a concept of greenwashing also. Many other countries are already defined greenwashing, that it is a crime. So if you are putting something your product like as a sustainable fashion, but they are not sustainable. So even if you are coming up with your product as a sustainable, but you don't know about the supply chain, might be possible that you are only designers, so you have a good intention and you are putting it label as a sustainable fashion, but your raw material provider, it is not, he or she is not using the sustainable guideline. Might be possible they are again degrading the environment, and they are then again they are not doing justice to their work. So you have to be cautious about those things also. So that is why we have to understand about the complete supply chain, from where your raw material is coming, what are the stages in dyeing, in cleaning, in manufacturing, and stitching. So you have to see about all these things. So whether you are using the leather or maybe the other things, in cosmetic, like whether you are doing animal testing, right? Again, so those will be the thing. So yes, we deal with such type of work. So the environment and sustainable fashion is again very important.
Right. We also have one more question. Why do we have fashion law as a separate sector if most of its work is related to IP and contract?
We have just given only a name to fashion law, like we have criminal law, so that's why like we have like IP law. So there is no such statute required to be called as a fashion law. So we don't need any law, we already have sufficient law, right? So it is only a sector name, it is only a practice area name. So you are only practicing into fashion law, so it means you are serving the fashion industry. So don't confuse it with any statute that we require any law, different law for fashion industry. We already have laws. So when we are talking about the contract, so we already have Indian Contract Act, right? When we talk about the IP, we already have IP. But when we talk about the energy law, so we are serving the energy industry. When we are talking about the telecom law, so we are serving the telecom industry. So it doesn't mean like we need a special proper like act which will cater to all the needs. So it is only a practice area name.
Right. What is the earning scope of a fashion lawyer?
So this again depends like how much you are able to have your like clients, right? So in fashion law, then again, I told you it is the biggest industry after agriculture. So there's a lot of scope. So if you want to, but again, we have to talk about like it is not only about the signing side of the fashion. So we have to also talk about the other things also. So not only you have to, so if you're going for money, if you're going after money, then you have to approach the clients like who are into manufacturing sector, supply chain, or fashion designer houses, right? But if you want to, it might be possible that you are more interested to work with the rights, right? So you can become a fashion activist. You can also work for the constitutional right of the workforces, labor rights, employment rights. So that is the case. So again, there is no such practice area having no limited scope. All practice areas in laws have sky is the limit is there for every practice area, be it criminal, be it civil. So there is no such questions like how much a fashion lawyer can earn. So sky is the limit for all the practice areas. So not only for the fashion law.
Right. What are the brands or companies that might take in freshers for a job? And is it better to directly start working with a fashion brand, or should we gain some sort of experience first?
Like I told you about I gave you already an overview about the work area of a fashion lawyer. So now you know about the work area, work skills that you need to acquire. So you should be good at like contracts, you should be good at IP filing, you should be good at reviewing those compliance checklist. You should be also aware about the government guidelines, because for example in India, you should be aware about there are like MSME guidelines are there. So there are lots of schemes available for textile sector, but people are not aware, and because of the difficult documentation like process, so they're not able to avail those schemes. But there are very good schemes, like even if you want to start a fashion brand, like maybe a textile unit, and if you are a women entrepreneur, so you will get 30% of the like subsidy from the government. If you are using also the solar power scheme, so then again there will be 50% of subsidy. So there are lots of schemes available. Like we have like Ambedkar Hastshilpi Yojana, we have artisans card schemes. So we also help the artisans to avail those artisans card. So artisans card is again then similar to a Aadhaar card. So if artisans have their artisan card, so they will get free education to their children up till 12th standard, right? And they also get free medical insurance, but they are not aware, right? So again, so very important to have knowledge about these schemes. There are only few schemes, then knowledge about the contracts. So you should firstly read about those things, about IP, about contract drafting. Try to like take example of any product line. Like for example, take a product line t-shirt, right? So now understand the process, like how a t-shirt is manufactured, like from where the cotton seeds are procured, and then how cotton is made, and then like the process, like from which country you are procuring the raw material, and then what will be the challenges in the stitching, manufacturing, right? So then what type of agreements are there? Like firstly you will procure a raw material, then there will be sales purchase agreement, then manufacturing agreement, then you want to imprint your logo on the t-shirt, then again there will be IP licensing agreement will be there. Then your product is manufactured, you need a distributor, so you need a distributor agreement, right? So then again so these will be the agreements applicable. So you have to read about those agreement first. Try to read about these agreement, and also about the e-commerce policy. Try to go and visit the website of Amazon India or maybe Flipkart. Try to read about their terms and condition of seller agreement. Try to create a seller account and read about the terms over there. So these are the things that you can learn practically by visiting the website or maybe seeing the templates, right? When you know that you have acquired some knowledge, then you can start applying. Try to write again research paper, start writing some research paper, review paper, and then try to apply to those law firms. In case you are not finding any law firm practicing into fashion law, then go on again to IP for law firm, contact law firm. At least you will have a skill set. For example, if I'm a fashion business owner and I need to hire an intern or maybe a fashion lawyer for my brand, I will see those skills, right? If your resume is giving me the skills that you are also skilled in contract drafting and IPR, then definitely I will give you preference, right? So for those things, like go step by step. So you can't learn all those things in any at one place, but yes, you can gather all the skills from different areas.
Right. What internships should I do as a student to build a career in fashion law? And combining it with a similar question, how can we get placement or job offers under the fashion law sector?
So there are things. So like I think gave answer to the first part. So you can go for IP internship, contact internship, and then the other compliance internship. Maybe you can also go for the human right internship if in case if you want to explore the areas of rights for workforces in fashion, right? So for the placement other things, so firstly you can start applying to the fashion business houses, right? India is a hub of fashion business houses, right? We have lots of, like we have the most I think we have the biggest fashion hubs and designers in across the globe, right? If you go and just do a simple walk tour like Greater Kailash or maybe any other areas in Delhi, so you will find thousands of designers over there, and they are working from like before independence also, right? So we have lots of designers in India, so you can start applying to those houses. Again, another thing is that like we have some good houses that those now have started offering internship to the law student, like Aditya Birla Retail Group, right? So ABRL, so like Aditya Birla Fashion Retail Limited, so it is the biggest firm for fashion houses, like so it has, because it has so many brands over there. Then Reliance, the Reliance is there because Reliance has invested in almost all the major fashion houses now, they are also Reliance Retail is also providing internship to law student also, and you can start working in their apparel department. Then Myntra also provide internship, right? So these are the houses which provide internship for law student also. Then in case you wish to start your career in fashion law, when you have acquired those skill set, in case you are not able to get internship or maybe like job opportunity in fashion houses, you can start working as independent fashion business consultant also, or maybe a fashion business lawyer. So you can start approaching the now we have the contracts lawyer, IP lawyer, we have technology lawyer. So independently, like even now we have freelancers like working on the contracts. Like so similarly, you can start because now we have an age of influencer, we have an age of like startups. We have seen in the COVID times, so everyone is coming up with the startups. They are using Instagram platform, right? So we have to we have a you have a good number of audience over there on Instagram. You can target them. You can aware them about these type of agreements, contract, why they need to protect their brand, why they need to have those agreements, right? So there is a lot of scope. So like in case you are not able to get internship or like job opportunity, you can start your career in it. So by finding freelance opportunity in contracts and IP protection.
Right. In regards to the certificate or diploma required to pursue fashion law, are we supposed to do it while studying our 5-year integrated course?
Yes, like you can do it while pursuing your studies, because normally all the laws that you will be studying will be similar to the course area. So there is nothing new. But only one thing will be different, that is supply chain management. But again, if you are like having your IP courses with your law subject, so then again you can pursue these courses. So if the courses are offered online or maybe through distance mode, and there is no conflict of interest between those two academic institutions, or maybe like you have enough time, so don't hamper your the primary like academics because of these courses. So in case you have time and you are able to manage those courses, so yes, you can pursue.
Right. So what can you say about fashion law scope in India and UK?
Again, India has like ultimate scope for the fashion industry because of the sectors, because of the importance of the sector, and because now government of India is also like in their recent budget also, they are also coming up with the textile parks, right? Mega textile parks. So they will be providing, the government will be providing raw materials, marketing assistance, everything at one place. So there will be 7 mega business park for fashion industry will be there. So they have started working. So then again, there will be lots of opportunities. So our fashion business houses are going global also. So we have seen Sabyasachi, we have seen other brands also, A&D, right? Anita Dongre. So we have seen lots of designers going global. So there is lots of scope in Indian business, fashion business houses. We have like fashion weeks. We have now so many fashion weeks over there, right? So even if you want to go for fashion event management, then again there are like contracts in event management also for endorsement agreement. So there is a lot of scope in India, and for abroad also, yeah, like in European countries there is always scope. And then even now in Africa also, they are also revamping their fashion sector. So if we compare like Bangladesh as compared to India, it is a small country, but still they are number 3 in fashion business manufacturing because of the workforce is cheap there. There are very less compliances. So all the raw materials. So even your Puma and the other brands, they are getting their product manufacturing from Bangladesh, right? So India is also competing also. So because India have resources, and yes, we need a workforces, because the higher number of workforces we have, then again we have legal issues in this industry. So yes, there is a scope.
Right. Does getting an LLM from abroad equip me to become a fashion lawyer? And is the knowledge of fashion and textile required for fashion law practice?
I personally don't give like suggestion for those expensive degrees. So in case if you have to come back to India and find a job opportunity over here, right? So, but if you're getting something different from those countries, and like try to compare, like best thing to go for like if you want to go abroad for a degree, try to compare the modules with the Indian like institutions. If you are getting all those things over there, so it means like you are saving your expenses over there, you have faculties over there, and you can again invest those money to have other courses, like maybe to purchase other courses that you can do online, or maybe like you can go for internship, maybe you can go for a traineeship, or go and visit those countries, or go and visit those industry, like maybe fashion business houses. So there are only two institutions which provide LLM in fashion law, like Fordham Institute of Fashion, and then again there is a Luso University in Italy, so they provide fashion law. So we have Milano Institute of Fashion Technology in Italy, so they have 6-month fashion law courses. So like you can go for those courses, like 3-month courses, 6-month courses. But when we talk about the career prospects, so ultimately they will give preference to their student only as compared to the Indian because of the language. So, but in case if you have like learned Spanish, French, so yes, you may get an opportunity. But when we have scope in India, then why you need to go abroad, right? We already have fashion business houses. We already have influencers. So India has the most influencers in the world, like, right? So we have ample scope in India. Now the government is also giving attention to this sector. So like you can do your degree from here only. You can also opt for a degree in corporate law or maybe in IP law, and then acquire those other skill set. You can go for some fashion business supply chain management courses, maybe 3 months, 6 months from a good fashion institutions. And then these skill sets are required for these business houses, and try to pitch those fashion business houses for your career opportunities, then you will definitely get opportunities over here. Because when we interact, like we did help Aditya Villa Group for finding some interns for them, right? So they were having problems that they are not able to find suitable persons. They are not able to find the fashion lawyer because they are only getting resume of like maybe IP lawyer, maybe contracts lawyer. So we need fashion law student. So those who are having those skill sets. So they need persons with contract skills also, with IP skill also. So this is why like we have industries over there. Like we have Nykaa, we have Myntra, we have so many business houses, fashion business industries over there. So, but they are searching for the suitable candidate, right? So we have lots of opportunity. So you have to just acquire a skill set. I think the easiest thing to know the skill set is to go and visit the LinkedIn pages of these and like brands, and try to search for the opportunity, like fashion business consultant, or maybe the merchandising manager, maybe the compliances manager, or this industry. Try to read about the skill set required. Then ultimately you will get to know like what skill sets you are lacking behind, and then again you can acquire those skill, and you have a degree in law. And law degree is always again then superior. I will say superior to other like, because I give it priority, because if you are a lawyer, then again you can ultimately do anything, right? Except engineering and medical, but you have a skill set of business lawyer also. So lawyers are the best administrator also. So each fashion brand, so they will have. So in case you are a lawyer with the required skill set, you have IP knowledge, you have contract lawyer, so they need not to hire 4 people. So because they will be giving the work to the one person with a good salary also. Again, if they are not having a competent person, then again they have to divide the revenue between the 4 people.
Right. What roadmap should I follow for getting a job in a fashion house?
Firstly, read more about the fashion industry, read about the judgments in fashion industry, read about the fashion business houses, read about the case studies of brand, like why Zara sells most, right? Because of the supply chain. Then the rise and fall of various business houses, why they were failed, why they were successful, right? Read about the guidelines of like we have FDCI in India, Fashion Design Council of India. So that is self-regulated body. So they also have their self code of conduct. So read about those things. So also you should have a proper knowledge about like who are the designers and fashion brands. They are very important. And then read about this contracts and agreement, what types of contracts is there, what types of legal issues in industry is there. So your roadmap will be this: firstly acquire knowledge, and then secondly start writing, start finding opportunities, be it fashion business house, be it a designer, be it any like lawyer practicing in the field of fashion, or maybe dealing with some fashion client, or maybe a fashion like in-house counsel. So that will be your proper roadmap.
Right. So what are your views on PhD in fashion law and IPR?
Yes, like for PhD, then again your scope is very broad, because you don't have to do in a particular subject, because in PhD you will be writing the like thesis. So yes, you can like choose your topic relating to maybe legal issues in fashion, maybe IP issues in fashion, or maybe contract issues in fashion, or maybe supply chain and law in fashion. So yes, you can again go for PhD in fashion law. So it will definitely help you. So like, try to keep your thesis topic relating to the legal issues in fashion law.
Right. What are the best institutes to pursue fashion law course in India?
So like fashion law courses is not provided by any law institution as of now for like a complete degree. But very soon there will be some institutions coming up with the laws like these diploma program. But again, when they are coming up with the law these courses, again you have to be then again careful about reading the modules. So read the module first, try to compare with the modules of the Fordham University, the Milano Institute. So even the Milano Institute provides 6-month program, but like Fordham has a 1-year program. But if you compare the module of the Milano and Fordham, so Milano will be better because they have covered almost everything. So Fordham is more centric to the IP issues only, but Milano is covering about the supply chain also. And so they have even faculties from those luxury brands also. So they have practical like modules. So whenever you are opting for any fashion law course, so try to read their modules, whether they are covering fashion business setup, compliances, contracts agreement, IP issues, marketing and promotion issues, supply chain management, so and sustainable fashion, cultural appropriation, human rights. So these will be the things. Yeah.
Right. So can we go abroad and pursue fashion law with a degree from India?
Yes, why not? There's no restriction as any such restriction. So you can go for, so there are short-term program I already told you. So you can have your degree in India and then you can pursue the other courses. So we have a person like full-time person in our team. So they have done LLM and masters, or maybe even at the PhD level in India, but they are now working with the European clients. So they are also doing some short-term courses from Milano.
Right. As people are buying and selling properties virtually on metaverse, will there be opening of fashion houses in the metaverse?
Fashion
And
houses
what
already,
will be the legal? I'm sorry to cut you, so can I just continue the question?
yeah, you can.
And what are the legal regulations related to it?
So fashion houses is already there in metaverse. So even like last year already, so they have started going into metaverse. So like Nike and the other brands, so they are already in the metaverse. So yes, we can say, because now like they have also done tie-up with some gaming platform. Like for example, there's a very popular game called GTA, right? So you can see the character wearing those like apparel or accessories of these brands, like maybe the Nike shoes. So there are some, so they have done tie-up with some gaming platforms. So even some brands have done tie-up with like Instagram and Snapchat for filters, like so like Nike has done with the Snapchat. So they're coming with a virtual sneakers for Instagram, like Snapchat filters, and they are charging for it, right? So similarly, so like already fashion business houses are already there in metaverse, and others are also entering into the metaverse. So they have also started filing their trademark for metaverse. But then again, USPTO, they have clarified that in case if you have a trademark protection, normal protection will also then again will be applicable to the metaverse. Also, you don't need to have a separate registration or protection for those things. Yes, there will be regulations related to it. Like in India, we already have a taxation regulation as for like minting these NFTs. So now taxation is applicable to it. But now government is also working for a separate legislation for NFTs and tokenization of these tokens. So yes, there will be again legal regulation, data privacy regulation is there. We also have our data protection bill pending in the parliament. So there will be lots of legal regulations are coming up. So you being a law student should read about those things. Try to read about the reports of the parliamentary standing committees on data protection bill. So you will get an idea.
Right. So sir, one last question for today. Would you like to add anything else that is currently a popular trend or topic in the fashion law domain? And how would you predict the opportunities in the near future?
Pardon, please.
Yeah, I'll read it again. Would you like to add anything else that is currently a popular trend in the fashion law domain? And how would you predict opportunities in the near future?
Okay, yeah. So like popular trend, like we can see the use of artificial intelligence. We can also see about the use of like blockchain technology, and also we have started using the robotics in the warehouses. So yes, like we can see the more inclusion of technology, right? So yes, these like fashion is again then changing day by day. What might be fashion for today can be outdated for tomorrow, right? So yes, there will be again there are new things are coming up. We are also seeing the various types of clothes coming with some electrical equipment, with some other different design patents are also coming up. So yes, you should also read about the latest happening in the fashion industry, like mainly about the metaverse technology sector. So yes, these are very important. So again, it is also like increasing your scope of a lawyer. So more the like this industry will be evolving, so you will have like more space for yourself for catering to the needs of the fashion business houses as a fashion business lawyer.
Right, sir. One last question. Where can a person get appropriate study material to make their PhD degree more valuable?
So like for like you can visit like portals like JSTUR and Progress Central. So I'll put this in chat box.
Please.
So these are the databases. So you can get your research paper over there. So these databases are connected with the foreign universities. Some papers may have the paywall behind it, but I'll suggest you to take a membership of. I'll give you a hack. So you can take a membership of British Council Library, the online library. So it is used, I think, about 2,800 or like 2,900 only for a year, and you get access to those databases. So if you go on and get the membership of GS2 and Progress Central, so it will be very expensive, but you can go and take the membership of British Council Library. If you are in Delhi, you can also visit their center, and also like you can visit their website, maybe I think library.britishcouncil.com. So you can Google it, and you can take a membership, and you will get access to these things also, and also you will get a digital copies of all these books that are available in British Council Library. So these are the resources. Also, another thing is try to use the website of Parliament. So like we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha website. Go and visit the question hour tab. Try to search for your subject over there, because like our parliamentarians, so they ask for the questions during the question hour. So it is very difficult to answer all those questions during the session. So what government does, like they give the ministers or the like relevant ministers, so they give the reply to those parliamentarians on the website. So you can find those PDF. So and because it is directly coming from the government, from the concerned ministers, it is a credible source. So you can cite those things in your research paper or a thesis, a dissertation also. So go and visit the Parliament website, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. You will find a question hour tab, questions, and you will find again then a search tab. Try to search for those things. Like for example, if you are going for a fashion law, so you can search, like you can search for your topic, maybe textile industry, Ministry of Textile, or maybe sustainable fashion. So try to search for those terms. So, but that should not be in statement form, but only keywords, and then you will get some questions asked by the parliamentarian with their answers.
Right. Thank you for the wonderful session, sir. I believe it was a very wonderful and insightful session for all of us. As much as we would like to take all the questions, but because of time constraints, we won't be able to do that. I request all the audience members to connect with sir on LinkedIn or ask him on LinkedIn all the whatever questions they might have. And thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much for scheduling time for this session on a Saturday evening. And for all of you for joining in, I definitely believe that we all would agree that the opportunity cost to joining this session or doing any other activity was definitely more. So thank you again all for joining. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for joining once again. Thank you.